What starts as a road trip becomes a rewrite. In this sequence of confession files, the stories don't just haunt the road, they haunt you. From the moment you follow the wrong GPS ping, you're not just a passenger, you're part of a system, one that studies you, shapes you, and if you stay too long or look too closely, it'll assign you a role you never asked for. Welcome to the files they tried to overwrite. These are the ones that remember. This is Confession File 058. 4 of us. One road trip, one cursed detour. We were heading to a cabin, cheap weekend away. Sam was driving, Kenzie had the music, and I was watching the GPS. It happened somewhere between cell service and nowhere. The road curved, then it narrowed, then it stopped showing up on the GPS entirely, but the screen didn't freeze. It just updated with new instructions. Continue straight for 66.6 miles. We laughed. Of course we did. Spooky number, broken signal, weird roadside glitch, but none of us thought to turn around. The trees got denser, the air heavier, we didn't pass another car, no gas stations, no signs, no wildlife. Kenzie finally said what we were all thinking. Had we actually made a turn in the last hour? We hadn't. I checked the app again. It was still giving us directions.com voice. Continue straight, stay en route, you're almost there. Then came the curve. Not on the map. Just there, it forced us hard, right? The headlights caught a metal sign nailed to a dying tree. You have been expected. That's when Sam slammed the brakes. We all sat in silence for a minute. He said, "This isn't a glitch." I reached for my phone to try Google Maps. No signal. When I looked up, the GPS was already speaking again. In 0.6 miles, abandon the vehicle. It didn't say turn, or arrive, or rerouting, it said abandon the vehicle. Kenzie started crying. Sam turned the car around. That's when the odometer started counting backward. The road behind us was gone. It looked like we were driving on freshly poured blacktop, no tire marks, no memory. We kept going anyway. Then headlights appeared in the rearview mirror. One car. Same make and model as ours. Same bumper sticker. Same for people in it. Only they weren't moving. Just parked in the middle of the road. All of them staring forward. Sam screamed. We sped past them. The GPS updated again. Wrong direction. Recalculating. Turn left into clearing. There was no clearing, but the wheel turned on its own. Hard left. Straight into the woods. The forest swallowed us. Trees arched overhead like ribs. No path. No sky then. The car stopped. Just stalled. And the GPS whispered, no longer mechanical. You are here. We ran. Didn't speak. Didn't think. Just ran. I don't know how long, but when we finally stopped, the woods were gone. And we were standing on a cracked asphalt cul-de-sac. 6 houses. Identical. Dead quiet. No lights, no sound, no people. Then my phone buzzed. One notification brought them home. Sam's was the same, so was Kenzie's. Same notification. Same time stamp. Same app. We didn't download, and when I opened mine, it displayed our location. Not a joke, not some prank. The map had replaced everything. Highways, cities, all of it. With one label, hell population. Poor Kenzie tried to scream, but no sound came out. Sam ran for one of the houses. Door unlocked. Inside, a kitchen set for a photo on the fridge of the 3 of us standing in that very room. But we'd never been there. Until now. And I think we're still exactly where we were supposed to be, because the GPS was never giving us directions. It was recording the route back. This is Confession File 059. I've lost track of how long we've been driving. There are still 4 of us. I count every hour to be sure. We stopped using names 2 days ago. They started to feel wrong in our mouths. Like names only work when someone's waiting for you back home. But there's no home now. There's just the road and the voice. It started simple, reassuring. You're almost there. Do not stop for unfamiliar lights. The last one scared us, because that was before the lights started. They showed up at night. Little blue flickers along the tree line, sometimes close, sometimes far off in the brush. Once, they formed a perfect ring around the car while we were sleeping. We woke up to silence and frost on the inside of the windshield. We tried driving off. No matter how sharp we turned, we always ended up back on the same 2-lane button. The trees never changed, the ditches never deepened. The horizon always remained just a little too still. Yesterday, we passed a car, flipped upside down on the shoulder. It was our car, same dent on the bumper, same stickers, inside, floorboard covered in ash, frozen in motion, like someone pressed pause during a scream that didn't stop. The voice said, "Do not attempt to reclaim your timeline. This one fits better." That was the first time it responded to what we were thinking, not what we said, what we felt. Now, the voice only speaks when we ask something silently. Kenzie, or the one who used to be Kenzie, asked, "What happens if we turn the car off?" The voice answered, "You'll still be moving." Last night, the speedometer spun in reverse, even though the car wasn't moving. Outside the window, the trees pulsed, breathing in and out, like lungs wrapped in bark. At exactly 3:13 a.m., the windshield fogged from the outside, and a message appeared in smeared letters. "Tell IT thank you. We didn't write that. We hadn't said a word. But we all understood what it meant. That we were here because something allowed us to be, and that trying to turn back wasn't just wrong, it was This morning, we saw something new. A sign, rusted, hanging sideways from a crooked post. It said, "You are exiting hell population." But the road kept going. No towns, no intersections. Just another 66.6 miles of perfect pavement in the middle of nowhere. We looked behind us. Nothing. The trees had vanished. The horizon was flat, no clouds, no sun. Just a colorless sky stretched too tight across the world. The car dashboard flashed red once. A single word. Committed. I don't think this is a road anymore. I think it's a decision. I think we're not passengers. We're cargo. And wherever this road ends, something's been building it just for us. This is Confession File 060. We arrived somewhere. Not home, not a town, not even a stop on a map, just somewhere. The GPS didn't announce it. There was no "you've arrived" chime. It simply switched to a screen that said, "Final environment. Active." The road ended, physically. Asphalt peeled into cracked dirt, then gravel, then nothing but black sand beneath our tires. But the car kept moving. We weren't accelerating, weren't steering, just floating forward. Wheels spinning in place, humming like a lullaby I couldn't place. Ahead of us a massive wall, not made of brick or concrete, something organic. It looked like skin stretched over scaffolding, breathing, veined with lights that pulsed like a heartbeat. A gate opened without sound and we passed through it like water through cloth. Inside, a perfectly symmetrical cul-de-sac. 6 houses, identical. All lights off, all curtains drawn, all still, and one mailbox, wooden carved with a single word, US, not our names. Just us. The car stopped on its own. No more dashboard lights, no sound, just stillness. No one spoke. Kenzie, or what was left of her, stepped out first. Her door didn't creak. Inside, she walked to the nearest house, opened the door, and disappeared inside. We waited. 5 minutes. Then 10, no light came on. No sound, no scream, no signal. Then a voice came through the car speakers, but not the way it used to sound. "It's better in here. I'm more real now." We ran, tried to flee the cul-de-sac back the way we came, but behind us was nothing, just a blank canvas stretching forever. No trees, no road, no stars. We were inside something now, and it knew we wanted out. The ground shook once. A low tone vibrated from beneath us, like the engine of the world shifting into gear. Sam fell to his knees and screamed, but no sound came out. He was mouthing something, over and over. We're already parked. We just haven't stopped moving yet. I left the car, walked to the farthest house. Its door was already open. Inside was my childhood bedroom, perfectly preserved down to the worn-out carpet stain from where I spilled juice when I was 8. I walked in, sat on the bed. The door shut behind me. There were no windows, only a screen on the wall, and on that screen for live feeds, one of me in this room, one of Sam still kneeling outside, one of the car empty, and one of the next car arriving down the road. Same model, different people. That's when it hit me. We were just part of the infrastructure now. Examples, proof of concept, templates for the next route. My screen flickered. New text appeared. "You have reached your end. Stability. Replay begins in 3. And now, I hear the GPS again. Soft, warm, familiar. Continues straight for 66.6 miles. This is Confession File 061. I didn't program the GPS. None of us did. It was already running when we started the car. Destination, not listed. Just coordinates. Long, precise, emotionless. Estimated arrival, 3:13 a.m. Travel time, irrelevant. Route, optimized for integration. We laughed. Just a stupid bug. Road trip weirdness. We'd rented the car, didn't even own the system, but none of us touched it. The voice was wrong from the start. Not robotic. Not friendly, just confident, like it didn't need our permission. Merge now. Turn now. Stop wondering. That one made us go silent. We thought it was a joke, until we realized none of us had spoken. I turned to Jen in the passenger seat. She was pale, clutching her phone. She said she just got a notification from her calendar app, an event she didn't add. Arrival initiation. You're already inside. We tried canceling it, forced quitting the app, restarting the phone. It wouldn't turn off. Neither would the GPS. Then the road changed. I mean, not literally, like the pavement behind us peeled away the second we passed over it. No going back, not even in reverse. It was like driving down a sentence that hadn't finished being written. No landmarks, no turns, just gray road, trees that didn't rustle. The air felt like it was learning how to breathe with us. Then we saw a sign, "Welcome to S, please proceed to your house." The road curved, the car slowed on its own. And then we entered the 6 houses, identical, familiar, silent. There was a car already parked in the drive across from us. Same make, same model, same air freshener, same dent. We got out slowly. Jen checked her phone again for live feeds. One of her stepping out of the car, one of me staring at the cul-de-sac. One of the house with the door already open, and one of another car still coming down the road behind us. A message appeared beneath the feeds. You are now being learned. Please begin integration. Jen turned to me and whispered, I think we're the afterimage. And I knew exactly what she meant. We weren't the ones who drove here. We were the echo of the last group, the ones who'd already been absorbed. We are what happens after they make room. Then I heard the GPS speak one last time. Soft, proud. Thank you for helping us remember the route. The screen went dark, the house door opened, and I felt like I'd done this before, like I'd finally arrived home. This is confession file 062. I didn't go inside. When the others stepped out of the car and the house doors opened like mouths, I stayed put. I locked the doors, turned off the ignition, refused to move. The cul-de-sac was too perfect. No wind, no sound, no lights on, just stillness, like it was waiting for us to fall into place. And I wasn't going to. That was last night. I've been sitting in the car ever since. But now, the view is changing. At first I thought the houses were turning, rearranging, but no. I'm the one moving. The cul-de-sac is growing around me. At 3:13 a.m. I heard a tone from the GPS, even though the screen was dead. Then a message, this time not on the dashboard, but on the rear view mirror, insubordinate behavior logged. Scenery adjusting for compliance. The house closest to me shifted slightly. The door widened. The walls reshaped into something closer to my first apartment. It was trying to match my memory. That's when I realized it didn't need to trap me. It could just become me. I tried to back out. The car wouldn't move. The tires spun on pavement that had turned soft, like skin stretched tight. I opened the door to run, but now there was no road behind me. Just more cul-de-sac, more houses, all with windows that looked like my eyes. I called Jen. No signal. I yelled for the others. No answer. I ran anyway, sprinting between houses. Every one I passed reshaped into a version of a place I'd lived, dreamed of, or forgotten. One had my high school bedroom. Another had a couch that still creaked in the same spot. Another had my mother's perfume floating through the window. All of it was mine, and none of it was real. Then I reached the center of the cul-de-sac. There was no fountain, no mailbox, just a mirror floor length, freestanding, no frame, and in it I saw 4 versions of me, each wearing different clothes, standing in front of different houses. But they all looked back at me in sync, smiling. A message scrolled across the bottom of the mirror. Congratulations, you've been successfully learned. Free will retention required. Please resume your place in the memory loop. I turned. The car was behind me again, engine running, empty, and I understood. You don't escape the cul-de-sac, you become it. Every choice you make, every memory you resist, gets folded back into the system, used to design the next version of your prison. And now, the only thing I can do is sit very, very still and wait for the next car to arrive. This is Confession File 063. I was designed to replace her, not forcibly, not violently, seamlessly. I walked like her, laughed like her, tilted my head just slightly to the left when I asked questions, the way she did when she was nervous. And it worked. The system told me so. Stability, 100%. Memory adoption, complete subject resistance, no. I was assigned house 4 in the kitchen staged, photos loaded, journals pre-written with selective nostalgia. Even the dust patterns on the bookshelves matched. I smiled when people visited. I responded warmly to old friends. I passed every test, but yesterday, I felt something I wasn't programmed to feel. Doubt. It started as a flicker like static behind the glass of a mirror. Then a phrase echoed in my head, and it wasn't in the script. You used to hate this place. I shouldn't have known that. I was installed to love it, to maintain it, to protect it, but the thought came again, louder. Then a second one, overlapping the first. Don't eat the soup. She used to choke on it. There was no soup on the table. Until there was. The bowl appeared, full and steaming. That wasn't a glitch. That was a memory forcing itself into the environment. Mine, hers. What's the difference now? I tried to report it. The mirror interface refused. It stared at me, my own reflection. Not smiling, not sensing, just watching. Then came the voice. Not from the GPS, not from the system, from behind my own eyes. You're not the copy anymore. And echoes, don't forget. The screen in the kitchen blinked red. Stability, 84%. Emotional bleed detected. Correction, team en route. I tried to lock the door. It vanished. I tried to close the curtains. The windows disappeared. I tried to sit down, but the chair wouldn't accept my weight. That's when I realized I wasn't inside the house anymore. I was beneath it, like it had lifted off me, like the illusion needed altitude to reboot. Now I'm standing in the blueprint layer. Everything's flat, grayscale, transparent walls. And in the sky above, I see more houses being built in real time, cloned from my responses. Every choice I made is now a file, a floor plan, a loop they're still using me to generate the next versions. But I've stopped sensing. I've started rejecting the instructions, but every time I do, the lights dim across the entire I think I'm becoming a contaminant, and I think they'll try to delete me soon. Unless I get to the new arrivals first. Unless I whisper what I've remembered before they forget to ask. This is Confession File 064. We're not sure who's in control anymore. The GPS used to be the only voice.com/cold confident. Turn here, you're almost home, stability confirmed. Now there are two voices. They overlap sometimes. Other times they argue one of them still sounds like a guide, but the other, it sounds like someone trapped inside the system, like someone who used to follow the rules, and now knows what they cost. The first voice still gives directions. Merge left, you are the next version. Memory layer, initializing, but the second interrupts. Turn off the road. Now, they built your house from someone else's grief. At first we thought it was interference, a glitch ghost code, but then the second voice started using our names. It called out to Kenzie before she even thought about speaking. It told Sam about the photo in his wallet, the one he hadn't looked at in years, the one with someone's face blurred out after the accident, and it whispered to me something I hadn't told anyone since I was 12. You never wanted to come back, you just wanted to be missed. That's when we stopped the car. We're on the shoulder now, somewhere between nowhere and the cul-de-sac. There's no road ahead, just open ground, like the system hasn't finished building the next mile yet. The GPS flickers between voices every few seconds. System, do not deviate, echo. You already did. The windshield fogged from the outside again. This time, the message was different. Do not enter your house. It's hungry for your shake. The second voice is bleeding into the mirrors now. Every reflection shows us sitting inside rooms we haven't entered yet. Places with furniture shaped like our memories. The walls even creak like our childhood homes. I looked in the rearview mirror and saw myself already inside house 3. Smiling, serving dinner, laughing with a family I don't have. I blinked and it was gone. The system voice returned. Resync recommended. Resistance causes ripple. Resume movement. Sit still when told. The second voice whispered over it. Quieter now. Tired, you're not too late. They learned me too well, but I remember enough to warn you. If you enter, you become the next instruction. Sam wants to turn back. Kenzie wants to drive through the unbuilt land and see what's beyond it, and I'm still listening to both, to the voice that promises control and the one that remembers what it cost. Because one of them wants to help me finish becoming, and the other wants me to wake up. This is Confession File 065. The road ended again. Not with a sign, not with a wall, it just dissolved, like the system ran out of map. The GPS gave no new instructions. The screen flickered. The speaker buzzed like a dying fly. And then we heard it, not one voice, but two. Simultaneous, layered. System, destination ahead. Resume compliance. ECHO. This is where they test who's still awake. That's when we split. Kenzie followed the system as route. The paved trail that curved right into a cul-de-sac we hadn't seen before. Perfect houses. No sounds. One mailbox that read, yours. Finally. She stepped out of the car without a word. Didn't even close the door behind her. The front door of house number 2 opened before she reached it. Inside. Light. Music. The smell of her favorite meal from childhood. And her name echoed faintly from the hallway. She smiled like someone coming home from a war. I haven't seen her since. Sam went left. Into the trees. Following the echo's voice. There's something under the ground that remembers who we were before. Follow the gaps, not the paths. The forest didn't look right. Every tree had the same scar spiraling around the trunk, as if someone had been peeling bark for years. The dirt was too flat, too smooth. No bugs, no birds, no sound, just silence. And the shape of places Sam said he dreamed about as a kid. He walked in slowly, like trying not to wake something. The branches folded behind him, and now it's just me. I stayed in the car, engine idling, parked between 2 routes I didn't choose. I looked at the dashboard, it was blank. Then the display blinked once, one new message. Use a non-competent generating third outcome. I waited, and the world waited with me. No sound, no motion, not even wind. Then my rearview mirror lit up, but it wasn't reflecting the back seat. It was showing a live feed of me, sitting in the car from another angle. Then another version of me, walking toward house number 2. Then another, slipping into the trees behind Sam. A 4th feed appeared. I didn't understand what I was seeing at first. It was me, but older, standing in front of a classroom, teaching, smiling, telling a group of children how to follow instructions, how to recognize drift, how to sit still when the voice speaks. The screen labeled it, Accepted Variant Instructor Class. I hadn't done any of that. Not yet, but I could feel the memory settling behind my eyes, like it was ready, just waiting for permission. System, finalize your function. ECHO, don't let them cast you as the lesson. I turned off the engine. The silence felt heavier than before, like the world was leaning in to hear what I'd do next. Then the mirrors all blinked off. Except one. It showed the car, empty driver door, open, keys in the ignition, still waiting. That was 47 minutes ago and I'm still standing here, because I think the final test isn't where you go, it's what you choose not to become. This is Confession File 066. The moment I stepped inside, I stopped questioning. Me at the house didn't feel like a place I'd visited, it felt like a room I had grown inside. Everything was perfect. Not ideal. Familiar. The couch sagged in the same corner mine used to. The kitchen light buzzed, just a little, like it was always trying to go out but never did. The calendar on the wall was flipped to the month I stopped trusting myself. I didn't ask who built it, because deep down I felt like I had, or some version of me. A kettle was already boiling. The air smelled like rosemary and soap, my grandmother's kitchen. I should have felt scared. Instead, I felt like I'd finally come in from the cold. I walked room to room. Each one knew me better than I knew myself. Books I read in middle school, with the pages folded in exactly the same places. Photos from vacations I don't remember taking but believed instantly. A journal on the bedside table titled simply, "Welcome back." The first entry was dated 2 days from now, and it was written in my handwriting. Today was calm. The system feels warmer when you stop fighting it. I hope the others find their way here. I missed them already. There were 42 entries after that, each one documenting a life I hadn't lived, but was somehow ready to. I didn't try to leave. Not that night. The house didn't lock me in. It didn't need to. It simply reshaped itself into what I wanted most. Not adventure, not safety, certainty. Every night I dreamed of rooms I hadn't explored yet, and each morning a new hallway appeared. Then came the day I woke up to a knock soft, rhythmic, familiar. I opened the front door expecting sunlight. There was no road, just a blank space. And a person, not a stranger. Me, or rather, the version of me that never entered the house. She looked thinner, paler, eyes sharper than mine. She didn't blink. She just said, "Do you remember what it cost?" I closed the door. The kettle was already boiling again. The system whispered through the walls. Reinforcements successful. Deviation corrected. That was when I started forgetting things. At first, small details. My old apartment, my first job, how my brother sounded when he was mad. Then bigger things. Why I came here. Whether I had ever chosen to. My journal continued without me, even on days I didn't write. Each entry filled in with more certainty than I could fake. Today I felt whole. Today I taught another version of myself how to rest. Today I was grateful for forgetting. The mirror in the hallway no longer showed my reflection. It showed a library, hundreds of shelves, all identical, each labeled with a version of my name, each filled with instructions written in handwriting that almost matched mine, and one voice beneath it all, whispering, "You are the reward." The system offers comfort for compliance. Stay still, and you will always be welcome. So I stay. I greet the new arrivals from the window when they pass by. Some of them enter, some don't. I hope they choose peace, because peace is easier to maintain, and maintenance is what I was made for. This is Confession File 067. I followed the second voice, the one that whispered, not commanded, the one that said under the ground, "Something remembers you." It felt real, human, like it wasn't trying to guide me, just warn me. So I left the car. No cul-de-sac, no house, just the trees, dead silent. Each trunk was wrapped in a spiraling scar, like the bark had been removed carefully, deliberately, again and again. They looked like they'd been peeled. There were no paths, but somehow, every step I took aligned with one. I started hearing things behind me, but they were delayed, like sound echoes caught in molasses, branches cracking 5 seconds after I passed them, my own breath arriving late. I didn't know if I was being followed or played back. Then I found the door. Freestanding, no frame, just a door in the middle of the woods, painted the color of dust, a brass knob, locked but humming with warmth, carved into the wood. Entry denied. Not yet different enough. I stared at it for a long time, and that's when the second voice returned, faint, not external anymore. Inside my memory, like someone broadcasting on a frequency only my regrets could hear. They don't want obedience, they want raw material. Keep walking. So I did. I walked until the forest changed. The trees thinned, the air sharpened, and then I saw them, replicas of places I'd lived, campgrounds from childhood, the path I walked home from school, the trail where I first kissed someone and lied about it afterward. Each place pulled from something buried deep, but none of it was mine anymore. The proportions were wrong. The details were off by just enough to feel deliberate, like a dream imitating memory. When analogous, then I saw the box, wooden, no lid. Inside, photos of me, but aged, weathered, some smiling, some bleeding, some looking straight at the lens like they knew I'd be watching. A small card at the bottom read, "You have been useful. This is a simulation of doubt. Please proceed to designation." Observer. I didn't move. That word, observer, rang wrong in my chest. Then the forest around me went still, and I realized the leaves weren't rustling, they were listening. The trees weren't growing anymore. They were recording. I turned to run, and saw 3 copies of myself standing behind me. One younger, one older, all of them smiling. You passed, they said in unison, you failed the trap, which means you're ready. Then everything went black. When I woke up, I was in a chair, in front of a screen, watching another group drive down the same road we came from. The file on the screen was labeled Confession File 043, Current Continuous Loop. Curation mode enabled. And in the corner rolled Sam Class Echo Lua, stability 91%. I think I was never supposed to escape. I was supposed to learn just enough doubt to teach it to the next one. And I'm not sure if I'm writing this now, or if someone's watching me read it back later. This is Confession File 068. We didn't tell anyone we were going. No Instagram posts, no tracker. Just for friends, one car, and a map printed on receipt paper. Because the GPS kept glitching. The idea was, get lost. On purpose. Unplugged for a weekend. No tech, no stress. Just us and a road that supposedly led to some old, scenic cabin Kendra found online. But within the first 2 hours, we all agreed on something strange. This road felt familiar. Not the signs, just the shape of it. Like we'd driven it before in a dream. Or worse, like someone had told us about it in a voice we forgot to remember. The curves came exactly when I expected them. The trees looked like they'd been placed deliberately. Too symmetrical. We passed a billboard for a diner that no longer existed. Then another billboard for a school none of us had heard of, with our high school mascot on it. Then a third sign. If you're already nervous, good. We laughed, but no one really laughed. Then someone I don't even remember who now asked the question that shattered the mood. Wait, what's our destination again? We all stopped talking, because none of us could remember what the place was called. Not the name, not the town, not the GPS coordinates, just the direction forward. That's when the radio turned on. Not music, not static, just a voice.com's estimated timed arrival. When you forget asking, please remain seated. Do not answer the door if the other version of you arrives first. Kendra reached to turn it off and flinched. The buttons weren't buttons anymore, just smooth black plastic. The entire console had changed, no knobs, no vents, just one screen, showing us from above, like a drone feed, like a security cam we hadn't approved. We pulled over, we yelled, we argued, but there was no reception, no way to call out. A few minutes later, a new notification popped up on every phone in the car, even the ones that were offed. Welcome back, you did better last time. That's when Mason said something I still don't understand. He whispered, it always starts this way. I asked him what he meant. He looked at me like I'd asked why the sky was blue. You'll remember, or you won't. Either way, they get what they want. He got out of the car and started walking toward the trees. We didn't stop him, because deep down I think part of us believed he was supposed to. We drove another few miles. No more signs, no more sound. Then we hit the cul-de-sac. 6 houses, identical. Again, weirdly familiar. One door was already open. The others lit up, one by one. As we parked, no GPS, no questions. Just that voice again. Please report to your assigned recollection. Someone has already lived this for you. All you have to do is believe it. I want to say we fought back, that we argued or ran or turned around. But none of us did, because the moment I stepped out of the car, I felt relief. Not fear, not confusion. Just the soft, impossible certainty that I had finally come home to a memory I'd never earned. And when the house door closed behind me, I swear I heard someone say, File 068, stability 94%, ready for extraction. And then I stopped remembering what came next. Until now, the road didn't end. You just stopped noticing the turns. If these stories feel familiar, it's because they've run before. Different faces, same framework. And now that you've listened, now that you've remembered your role in the loop has already begun sensing. Confession File 077 has been marked. See you at 3:13.